I'm sure like us, you're eagerly awaiting Google's next mid-ranger, and this mid-year mid-range refresh might actually encroach upon the base Pixel 8. Even if it's not on your radar, we still think you need to wait until the Pixel 8a launches before picking up a new phone, and here's why. Before I get into our reasoning though, how about you hit subscribe for the channel to be among the first to catch all of our upcoming Pixel 8 content and even more from Google I/O, as we will be on the ground over there. If you're a true fan, then you can also now become a channel member by hitting the join button for lots of little extra perks, fun stuff, freebies and more. So if you're a 95 Google super fan, hit the join button and go above and beyond a subscription. So Google has not officially shared any information on the Pixel 8a. Leaks and rumours have done a fair bit to help give a clearer indication of what this next generation mid-ranger will bring to the table. As you'd expect, we've covered this a lot already. The design is going to adopt the Pixel 8 series' latest bubbly aesthetic traits. If you're happy to wait until release, you should be able to grab the Pixel 8a in at least 4 colours this time around, including Obsidian, Porcelain, Bay and Mint. That's my favourite one. The Pixel 8a will be rounded, and recent leaks also show that it has matte finishes rather than the glossy designs used on years prior, and even on the base level Pixel 8 itself. The 8a's frame is said to measure in at 52.1 by 72.6 by 8.9mm, which would be slightly smaller than the Pixel 7a's 152.4 by 72.9 by 9mm chassis. Because the curved corners are more apparent here and used on this device, the 8a is also likely to be noticeably smaller in the hand, but without actually decreasing the screen size. Even with the size shavings to the chassis itself, the AMOLED display is still sticking to 6.1 inches. If you want a small phone, I genuinely think this might be a decent candidate. Upgrades are also due to that 1080p display. A 120Hz screen is expected for the first time on an A series device, which is a minor but notable upgrade over the 90Hz rated Pixel 7a. Other specs include the Tensor G3 processor, 8GB of RAM, plus at least 128GB of onboard storage. We're also expecting wireless charging and hopefully improved wired charging via USB-C. There ain't much chance of hardware changes in the camera itself this year though. I expect to see the same 64MP rated Sony IMX787 main sensor to stick around, alongside that secondary 13MP Sony IMX712 sensor. The selfie camera probably won't change either, which will enable face unlock, as well as also having an in-display fingerprint scanner for biometrics on this particular device. Like last year, we're just waiting to see what camera tricks Google has in store for the Pixel 8a. We do hope that macro focus makes a jump down the totem like it did with the Pro to the 8 earlier this year, but it's unlikely that we're going to see things like video boost or Pro controls. These two options are not on the regular Pixel 8, so even more unlikely to come to the Pixel 8a. We are hopeful though that AI features like Best Take, Magic Editor and Audio Magic Eraser are going to be bundled in, but as well, we don't yet know at this stage. It is a formality that Android 14 will probably come pre-installed, but it's not clear if the 8a will stick to the old update plan of 3 version updates and 5 years of security patches, or get that full fat 7-year support window. If that latter is promised though, then this really could be one of the best budget phones for most people, the best bang for your buck in a budget phone by virtue of that support window alone. And because just of how closely the prospective spec sheet aligns with the base Pixel 8, it could actually encroach heavily upon that device, but even at a cheaper price point. The marginally longer update timeline could also make the 8a a better overall value proposition for anyone shopping for an Android device right about now. So while we do suggest waiting for the Pixel 8a, it will shunt aside last year's Pixel 7a. Because the Google's A series smartphone series hit store shelves almost a year ago, the new hardware will supersede it, as you'd have expected. Sure, the 7a is almost a year old at this stage, but it's still a solid, affordable alternative that should seriously be considered by anyone looking for a new device. Moreover, the initial $499 retail price has decreased significantly since May 2023. The 8a isn't expected to offer such a huge leap as it did from the 6a to the 7a. That means that if you can stomach some minor downgrades that the 7a actually has on it compared to this newer model, based upon the rumours we know, it may be a way to get a super cheap yet premium Pixel experience. The Tensor G2 processor isn't the most powerful. It also remains more than capable to do the basics without breaking a sweat. It does have some overheating issues that you should probably be aware of, I would say avoid games, and it's still a great general purpose Pixel for someone who just wants a phone, nothing more, nothing less. Circling back to the camera system and the fact that it's going to be identical, I think you should be confident that stills and video will look practically identical from the 7A to the 8A, unless they start packing in extra AI features that we don't know about. No information is known on the camera features at this stage, but I would say expect to miss out on some of those newer AI-based tricks if the 8A does get those and the 7A is your preferred phone. When the 7A was released, Google also kept the 6A in the lineup as a sub $300 entry model. It wouldn't be too much of a stretch to think that we'll see the 7A sticking around this year too to do the same sort of thing. The other good thing about this is that the 7A is super cheap now as well. It regularly dips below that $349 price point, and it will likely go even lower on some storefronts as carriers and brick and mortar stores attempt to clear their own inventory or stock when the 8A arrives. It might not be the newest model, but I do think it still has lots to offer, which is why we've mentioned it. There's also a heavy case for buying the Pixel 8, and even if you are looking at this device, I would say please wait for the Pixel 8A. There are a few reasons for this. Firstly, the upcoming model might be a better buy than the 8 itself, as it's going to be marginally cheaper and come in more colour options. Secondly, the release of the Pixel 8A will undoubtedly affect the current Pixel 8 pricing structure. This happened last year when the Pixel 7 was heavily discounted after the 7A hit store shelves. We're not exactly sharing any inside trade secrets here, but usually older hardware gets discounts because the newer, shinier product is now on sale. This could happen again in the coming weeks. And thirdly, if the 8A lacks some Pixel 8 features, then you will know for certain which phone is right for you, so that means waiting is a win-win. So to summarize all of these thoughts on why you should wait, while we can't tell you what to do, what we can say is that waiting a little longer is very sensible. Unless there are massive discounts currently on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro right now, then it can't hurt to hold out a little bit longer and see just what the Pixel 8A brings to the table. We're working with leaked information here as well, but all of the signs do point to an even better A-series smartphone for 2024. It'll almost certainly be a Pixel 8 SE in all but name, which means it's worthwhile if you do hang on to pick one up when that device does officially go on sale. We know that the proposed asking price will be lower in the series, but if it dips below that $500 mark and starts at $449 rather than $499 as some have rumoured, then it will be a better buy. That said, if it's at that latter price, I think it could be a tough sell because the Pixel 8 now starts at $549, which is a substantial discount over the release price, and you can grab that on stores as of today. Other incentives also make the Pixel 8 one of the best value propositions on Android right now. The Pixel 8A launch could have an even greater knock-on effect on those prices as I've just mentioned, and help start what could potentially be a season of fire sales. Don't be too surprised if carriers and retailers begin to offer the latest or last year's model at even greater discounts to clear stock once the 8A, the newer shiny device, does arrive. Google is also very, very unlikely to discontinue the current gen Pixel 8 and 8 Pro until the weeks preceding the Pixel 9 series launch in late 2024, which is probably almost half a year away. That means it's wise to wait for the biggest savings just to see how the Pixel 8A alters the upcoming buying landscape. The crux of this argument though is that a competitively priced Pixel helps push down the pricing of existing Google hardware. It also keeps other OEMs in check. Samsung phones often get a price drop mid-year to help shift more handsets and curb Google's growth in the mid-range space. If you hold on that a little bit longer, it really is a win-win for everyone. That said, I want to ask you, are you looking forward to the Pixel 8A? I actually love my 7A from last year. I have two of them. I have the white model and the coral model. There's just something about the A series that I really do love, so I am genuinely excited for the Pixel 8A. Let us know what you think though in the comments section of this video. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.